You overstaying does not affect your chances of renewing your residency. Does not affect your chances of trying to switch from one residency to another residency. The residence permit may be granted regardless of the migratory situation, provided that the requirements of the intended modality are met. What's up, guys? So, a lot of you might have been asking, okay, how does Brazilian visa work? How does Brazilian residency work? Brazil residency works, and who qualifies for a resident permit? This and that. Can I travel? Can I come to Brazil with a visitor's visa and I'll be able to switch my visitor's visa to a residency? Guys, I found an article. I found article since, but I've not been able to record a video to show you guys. This article is very this article is very important and is a very useful article, and it's the article by the Brazilian government. These things are not out there. It's an article, it's a publication that is not out there. When you search online, a lot of people will talk about, okay, when you search, when I travel to Brazil on a visitor visa, will I able to convert my visitor's visa to a residency? But online, Google is going to say no, you have to travel back to your country to be able to apply for whatever work visa or student visa, or all those things. But everything you need to know about residency, about visas, is in this article. This article right here, Presidency of Republic, General Secretariat, Sub-Chief for Legal Affairs. So this article is, is talking about different types of visas, different types of things, residency too, and there are different articles on this, different decrees on this, but I'll be going through some things. Now, there are some things, just some intros here. It defines migrants, who is a migrant, who is an immigrant, who is an immigrant, who is a border resident, who is a visitor, who is a stateless person, who is a refugee. It defines migratory here and all sorts of like that. So chapter 2 talks about visas. That's chapter 1 there, just for preliminary provisions, definitions. And chapter 2 talks about talks about visa. Section 1, you see the general provision. The visa is a document that gives the holder expectation of entry into a national territory. Blah 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 blah. So in this chapter 2, for those that want to know about Brazilian visa, want to apply for Brazilian visa, or you want to talk to your agent to be able to know, and you guys will have to brainstorm, okay, which kind of visas you want to use to come to Brazil or anything. You can look at it here, so you'll be able to have an understanding of the kind of visas you can have. Now, there are different types of visas that can make you enter Brazil, and there's a visitor visa, there's a temporary visa, there's a diplomatic visa, you know. There's official courtesy visa, blah blah blah. You see the articles, you see the article 5, is it 5 or 50? You see, yeah, 60. Just read everything about it. It has every details of whatever you need. Now, this is about visas. You read the subsections, you read the fees, you read the subsections 1, subsection 2, the expiry date, blah blah blah. But now let's go to the main aim of doing this video. So now I'm going to quickly go to chapter 7. Is it chapter 7 or chapter 8 of this article? This is talking about residency, who qualifies for a residency, and on what grounds you get for a residency. So let's go to chapter 7. For all of you, I'll be dropping a link of this article in the video, in the description of this video. So for you all to be able to digest everything about this article and whatever. So now this is chapter 8, and it's talking about the residence permit. And under section 1, it's talking about general provisions. Now the article 123 states the immigrants, the border resident, the immigrants, the border residents, and the visitor by application may apply for residence permits in the national territory. Now, guys, for you that always think, okay, if I'm on a tourist visa, will I be able to switch my tourist visa to a residency in Brazil while I'm still in Brazil? I don't have to travel back to my country to apply to switch my tourist visa to a residency in Brazil. Now, under this chapter 8 of this resident permit, in the section 1 of the article 123, it said the immigrant, the border resident, and the visitor by application may apply for residence permits in the national territory. So you don't need to travel back to your country to go and to go and apply for maybe business visa, to go and apply for business visa for residency, to go and apply for student visa for student residency, to go and apply for work visa for work residency. No, you can switch it. It is legal. This is the article. It is here. But this thing is not generally open to the public. So now let's go to that number one. He said the residence permit. Now this one is very important too for you to calm yourself down. He said the residence permit may be granted regardless of the migratory situation, provided that the requirements of the intended modality are met. So your residence permit will be granted regardless of your migratory situation, provided that the requirements of your intended modality are met. Now, this means that if you're on tourist visa, if you want to switch to residency, different type of residency, maybe you come as a tourist visa, you want to switch um to a student residency, nothing is not you are going to be granted so far you meet the necessary requirement for this student residency. You want to switch to maybe you came here, you got married by chance, whatever, and you want to switch to a family reunion with your wife to get a residency with your wife, you'll be granted so far you meet the necessary requirements, so far you meet necessary requirement, legal requirements. That's it. And also, let's say you overstay somehow. Let's say you are on, let's say for those that already have a residency and their residency has expired, but they could not quickly renew it and it has expired, that means you are overstaying. Now all you need to do is just go to the police federal, to go and you'll be charged, you'll be paying a fine, a multa every day for every day you spend you overstay in the country. But you can go to the police federal and ask for the how much you are owing the government, for your overstay, how much you're going to be paying, and the government is going to show you how much you're paying. They're going to ask how much you make, your monthly income, whether you have properties, you are going to fill a form, and they'll ask you how much you're going to pay. No, they'll sorry, they're going to tell you. Then from there they'll do their calculations whatsoever, and they'll tell you how much you're going to pay for a fine. They call it multa. Then to know about this, you have to go to police federal, and to go to the multa, you have to, now when you get to the police federal, you have to go to the multa section. So that aside, now the government is going to give you 60 days for you to quickly regularize your immigration status. For you to quickly regularize your immigration status, it means you are illegal currently, you are overstaying. They'll give you 60 days for you to get your necessary documents, maybe to renew your residency or to switch from one residency to another residency. Maybe you want to switch from a student to a family reunion residency, or you want to switch from a work residency to a student residency, or from a student residency that's expired to a work residency. You have 60 days to do that. And while you're working on those things, if the 60 days is not enough for you, you can go back before the first 60 days that has been given to you. You can go back to the police federal, show them the necessary evidence that you are working on your residency, but maybe you're trying to compile your documents and some of them are being delayed, maybe from your government, where you're trying to authenticate or legalize some documents. You have to show them maybe you have a police appointment for some dates, because sometimes the police appointment is always delayed. You get, so you can go and tell them and show them the proof. Them they'll give you another 60 days, making total of 120 days for you to gather your stuffs. So when you're done with everything and you go for your interview, you will be granted the residency if you meet the requirements. So you overstaying does not affect your chances of renewing your residency. You overstaying does not affect your chances of renewing your residency. Does not affect your chances of trying to switch from one residency to another residency. You're safe. Brazil immigration policies are very flexible. So now, as I've said, the residence permit may be granted regardless of the migratory situation, provided that the requirements of the intended modality are met. You can use that property for resident permit through investment. You get, so if it meets the amount, the quotation that they say, so maybe I don't know how much Brazil investment has to be, the amount has to be for them to give you a permanent residency, or to give you a permanent residency through your investment. Now, the article 124, it said the visit, let's read this one. The visit or courtesy visa may be transformed into a residence permit by application. Guys, as I've said, your visit visa or courtesy visa may be transformed into a residence permit by application. Easy. You can switch. It's easy. So there's no point of going back to your country and applying. No, Brazil is very flexible. Let's read. I've not really gone through these things, but I just picked the ones that me I wanted, and I've used it. Or ones that some people might have wanted, I've given them. But the link of this of this article, I'll drop it. It will be in the um it will be in the description section. So the applicant will prove the migratory condition of a visa or courtesy. I don't know why I'm confused. The applicant will prove the migratory condition of a visitor or courtesy visa holder and compliance with the requirements required for granting a residence permit. So you have to prove whatever you are going to be switching to. You are going to be switching to students. You have to know your necessary requirements. You need funds for your stay as a student. You need to get the admission letter that they give you for students. Maybe for those that are going for Portuguese class, it has to meet the requirements of 15 hours per week, a minimum of 15 hours per week as a workload, and the duration of your visa, of your class, maybe 6 months, and or 1 year. So they're going to switch from your tourist to your student residency. So from there, switches like that. So who's calling me? I'm on a call, and what the applicants will. So guys, this is what I just came to just quickly do this video. So this is chapter 8, the residence permit section, the section 1, the general provisions, who qualifies, who doesn't qualify, and which kind of visas can you get. I think when we go back to chapter 2, or yeah, chapter 2, talking about visas, which kind of visas can you apply for? Okay. No, okay. Chapter 2, subsection section 3 of temporary visas. So temporary visas has the purpose of research, teaching, academic extension, health treatment. You can apply for visas, medical visas, humanitarian reception, for study, for work, for home, price of religious activities, for voluntary services in Brazil, for making an investment. They can give you a visa. Activities with economic, social, scientific, technological, and cultural relevance. Family reunion. Maybe you have your parents. You are a Brazilian citizen already. Mm, you're a Brazilian citizen already, or you're a permanent resident of Brazil. You can invite your parents, whoever, your siblings, to come to Brazil. If you meet the necessary requirements, if they meet the necessary requirements. So artistic or sport activities. Immigrants. The immigrant is a beneficiary of a visa treaty, or the attendance of interest of national migration policy. So this is about visas, temporary visas. So that's it. Let's go back to chapter 8. Maybe I can find some things there in chapter 8 again. So guys, I just came to quickly make this video. So about it. So for you guys to be able to read it. So for all of you, some of you that want to come to Brazil, you want to know the kind of visas you want to apply for, you want to know about the immigration policy of Brazil, the flexibility, everything about it. So you not be scared. Can I do this? Can I do that? Is somebody qualified to do this? Somebody not qualified to do this, to apply for this visa or to switch to this residency? You find whoever. Now, for those that want to get a residence permit, you can get a residence permit through a family reunion, and that can be family union through your spouse. Maybe you marry a Brazilian, or a Nigerian that is a Brazilian citizen in Brazil. You get, and you marry, and you can get a permanent residency through that marriage. So that's it here. The residence permit for family union purpose will be granted to the immigrant spouse or partner without any discrimination, in accordance to the Brazilian legal system. So who also qualifies for residence permit through family union? The child of a Brazilian or immigrant beneficiary of residence permits. Somebody that has a Brazilian child gets a permanent a residence permit to. Somebody who has an immigrant child receiving a residence permit, ascending to the second degree of Brazilian or immigrant beneficiary of residence permits, blah blah descendants. It means your grandpas. If you are a Brazilian citizen, if you end up being a Brazilian citizen, your grandpas, your parents, your grandpas can become a Brazilian resident, and also your children can become a Brazilian resident. Your grandchildren can also be Brazilian residents. So ascending and descendants, you get. So brother of a Brazilian or immigrant beneficiary of residence permit can also get a residency. So your siblings can get a residency through you. If you are a Brazilian, if you have a Brazilian passport, if you have turned to a Brazil, you are naturalized, or you have a residence permit in Brazil, so they can depend on you. Your brother can depend on your residency. Somebody who has a Brazilian under his tutelage, curatela or guard, they can get it too. So everything you need to know about residency, about visas, irrespective of your country. So guys, I'm going to drop it. So this is just me just quickly making this video sharp to come and show you guys. So the link to this article is going to be in the description below. So guys, I just came to come and quickly give you, this is not my section, this is not my field. I don't talk much about residency, even though I answer some people in my DMs on Instagram about some residency, but I don't really make videos about residency. So I am not a visa agent. I don't do visas. If you want to do visas, my friend Manuel de Brazil does visa for people. So you guys can chat him up and you guys can come to whatever. And guys, this is not me. Me telling you to go and meet him is not a referral to me. Nah, I'm not collecting any referral bonus or anything. I'm not into the business. So I'm just sharing his contact with you guys for you to chat him up. So guys, as usual, this is Bada HQ. I'm signing out. Peace out. Valeu, obrigado.